Hi, my name is Theo. He is Ruby. This little guy here is Aster. And this is Coding Kui. We're back here in the Drupal site with the admin toolbar module that we are going to install now. For install it, we require firstly the files of this model. In order to have the files of this model, we are going to pull them. To pull them, we are adding them to Composer. Composer will understand where this model is stored because it's a Drupal model. We are telling Composer we are installing a Drupal model, and with the lesson I teach you before, you will know that this project will be pulled from drupal.org repository. So I will tell you, we are entering a container here. That's why I'm telling the console to start this script, to start this command with fin. Composer require Drupal /admin toolbar, which is the model we want to install. And there we go, we are getting the files that we require. If I run git status here, I have added this project to our composer.json file. Another change we have here is in the models folder, because as I told you, Composer knows where these files are going, where these country model files are going. If I check here the Composer file again, you will notice there's a new project here, the admin toolbar added 17 seconds ago. Another stuff you will notice, there's a new admin toolbar country model here. So we have the files. Now that we have the files, next step is enable this model. We are going to enable the model in Drupal. In order to do it from the console, we are going to run fin again to tell Drupal, to tell console I will be running this command in the fin container, in the container that has Drupal in it. I will tell fin trash and is enable admin toolbar, which is the model we're intending to enable. In this case, as you see, we don't have the Drupal at the beginning because Composer needs to know where to search for this repository. But in this case, we are just enabling this model in Drupal. And there we go. It's installed. We're going to get these fancy menus. I hate my neighbors working with this machine. But there is another command we should run in order to have these changes. And it's one of the most popular commands in Drush. And this is fin trash cr, which means cache rebuild. Okay, we have rebuilt the cache. And now we can check if we reload this page. This will take a lot because it's restoring file from the database and it has no cache. Now that we have run this trash cr, we have cleaned the cache and we have the menu that we want here. So we have enabled a model. We are going to perform the next step, which is allowing another model that is involved in this admin toolbar install. And it comes with the model admin toolbar, but it's another model. Because in Drupal, you can create a subfolder in a model that has different models. You can require certain functionality, but disregard some other ones. I will open the Extend menu here, which is the place where we have all the models. And we can uninstall them, or we can enable the models that are present, that are there but not enabled. Enabling a model in Drupal implies that the class inspector, this PSR class inspector, will enter the code of this model and will get all the classes. Another implication it has enabling Drupal module is that if you enable the model and it has some installed configurations, it will import these configurations too. So at some point, if a Drupal module enables certain configurations, and if you export the configurations as we have seen in the previous lesson, we will have these configurations in our main configurations too. Okay, now I'm going to enable the submodule that I've told you it's important in admin toolbar too. It's really useful at least. Okay, and this model is part of admin toolbar. I don't know what is the name exactly. It's extra tools. Okay, if you type here, you're going to search instantly in the list of models you have. I will install, in this case, admin toolbar extra tools. It is one of my favorite models because it allows you to clean cache from a button here, and it has some other extra tools that are there. And there's this. This is new because we have installed this model. In this case, we don't need to clean cache. So with this new menu, we can flash all caches, for example, from here, or flash individual caches. I have the main folder of our project, and as I've told you, we have this status where we have this model to commit, and we have the git ignore and the composer JSON and composer log altered, because we have enabled a model. Let me open the project so I can show you what we can find in this project. We have now our contrib folder, which is new because we have enabled our first contrib model. And we have the admin toolbar, and inside of admin toolbar we have the config directory. In the config directory we have this install. We can inspect our install folder in order to check how YAML looks like. The extension is YML, but it is known as YAML. If I open this file, you will check this is a simple configuration that stores a variable menu depth. I assume admin toolbar used this variable to create a configuration that you can alter to modify how the menu is displayed, how many depth elements it shows. Now that I am here and we have enabled two models in our site, the next step is going to our project, to the terminal that shows our project, and I will export the enabling of these models. If I push now to production, and if I have a continuous integration system, this model will be enabled in production or wherever we have this integration. In order to do this, I will run a command that we know, which is the -cex. I mean fin -cex. This error is because the client is not started, because I'm starting here to work. If we have not initiated the containers, it's not possible to run drush there. Okay, now that the project is active, I will run fin -cex. There is a flag that is really useful here. I will cancel this, and I will add a flag to our console command. This flag is -y. With -y, we are telling drush that we accept that we are going to export the configurations, because it's a major change, maybe, but in the real life you are going to export and import these configurations on a daily basis, so it's really easy to have this flag here. Fin -cex -y. And there we go. We have now our configuration exported here. I will clear here because, as you know, I hate when console is dirty. Now we can inspect again the Git, and we have new files here. A new file I have here is the config core extension YAML. I will open it using Visual Code to show you what this configuration consists on. This configuration shows how Drupal handles the enabled models. It will show you what models are enabled. If a model is in this list, it means that this model is enabled. So in your continuous integration, when you run the Drush configuration import, you will enable all these models here. The next step I will do is adding this altered file to our repository. I will run the git status. This is an alias that I have in my computer that says that git status is the same as git st. In order to commit this, there's something I do from console. There is some people that use the user interface to handle the git. I will show you next in these lessons how to use Visual Code to do the same, but in this case I'm working with the console, so I will continue with it. I will show you a way to add these files to your repository and push them to remote. I will pick the files that I want to add, and then, since Ubuntu has this functionality, I can copy the files that I want in our repository. In this case, I will add composer.json that will allow us to pull the files for create a country model that we have enabled. Then I will add the composer log that has the dependencies of our recently enabled models. This is the change that this has. And then I will add the core extension that we have modified because we have enabled some of the models of admin toolbar. Then, and this is really important, it's an error sometimes I do, you need to add all the configurations that your recently enabled model has. In this case, is admin toolbar settings and admin toolbar tools settings too. Now, if I run git status, I will see that we have all these files ready to commit. So I will create the commit message. For this, I will use a standard that is 4 letters in order to describe more or less what we have created here. This is a configuration, so I will use conf : and the message after commit. In this case is enable admin toolbar. I will close the commit message. I will run a git status in order to check what we have left, and I will push to our origin, which in this case is main. And we have now our site in our repository. This is the last step of today. Tomorrow we are going to speak about the content types. If this video was useful for you, please subscribe, hit the like button, and stay tuned for more lessons.